Good afternoon. It is Memorial Day. I would like us to take a minute before I throw in the intro to actually give a moment of silence for all the fallen soldiers for every branch of military in America.
Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Here locally in the community. Make sure y'all go check out Kneecap Body by Jeremy Campbell.
All right, that's right. It is Happy Memorial Day. Thank you, Pat and Ricky Sakat, for mentioning it. And yes, I know you probably thought it was Sunday because we all have today off for a change instead of it just being my normal Monday off. But that being said, it is a Memorial Day. That's why I started with that little 30-second moment of silence for all the fallen soldiers who have fell in foreign conflicts in service of our country, because they need to be recognized. They need to be remembered. It's not so much to remember those of us that are alive, that are veterans, or those that are currently serving. That's what Veterans Day is for. This is to remember all the fallen soldiers, no matter the conflict, all the way back to the Revolutionary War. I served in the United States Army for 2 years back in 88 and 89. So, yes, I served. But this isn't about service members, and whether active or non, this is about remembering those who have fallen. For those that wanna know what my MOS was, I was an 11 Bravo. I was an infantryman who was stationed at a mechanized infantry base in Fort Benning, Georgia, with the 197th Infantry Brigade, which we called the $97, 3 cents short of a full deck. We all were fucking crazy. But that being said, on top of everything else that is going on in the world, you know, there isn't much out there from Lions Camp because they didn't do anything all weekend. This was a weekend off in observance of Memorial Day. So there's really no surprises. I mean, Sion Vaki outperforming Craig Reynolds, I think, is probably the biggest one. Hooker having a bad day on Friday. It happens. That's what OTAs are for. It's their first time working with the playbook and working with everybody. People are going to have bad days. That's what they're supposed to use that to correct from it. And I'm quite sure it's back to work as usual tomorrow. But and I hear a lot of other fan bases giving us crap because Dan Campbell missed rookie camp. He didn't miss the OTAs. For those that are the uninformed, he was there. Yeah, he has a damn good shot to take Vaki has a damn good shot to take Craig Reynolds' spot. Because the one thing we always heard about is how good Craig Reynolds was in the preseason in OTAs. You're not hearing that. We're seeing how much better Vaki's looking, doing the exact same things that Craig Reynolds used to outwork everybody else. I'm not saying Lions are going to completely cancel their subscription to Netflix, but they might downgrade it to just the streaming service and not take the DVD this year. Uh, Giovanni Manu has been doing well. He's been backing up Decker, though, not Panay Sewell. Skipper's been on the right tackle side. That's what I'm predicting, Braylon Dennis, is that Craig is going to end up on the practice squad. Because the last time he got waived, nobody picked him up. We picked him up on the practice squad. Injuries started to happen. JB won't do what there, Ricky Sakat. Sunday shows? I'd do a Sunday show, maybe. It has to be the right situation. Yoli, our resident Packers fan in the house. Thank you. Dog check, dog check, dog check. Oh shit. Triple? There. Three different barks for you. Good morning. That being said, woof woof from Dan Leonard. He goes, hell yeah. I gave you a little, a medium, and a big dog. I'm not sold on CJ Moore either. Uh I would have liked us to sign JJ Ross, but again, CJ Moore, if everybody remembers back in 2021, he had our biggest punt fake that year. He was JRM that year. I think it was a 4th and 12, and we went for it, and he got 49 yards and set us up in touchdown range, if I remember right, or got a touchdown. I can't remember which it was. But that was during that whole changeover where we were changing our identity from what it was with Anthony Lynn to Ben Johnson and Dave Phipps. I'm a little upset we never did sign JJ Ross, though. He was that 6'3", 208 cornerback slash safety that we actually need on this roster. Say what you want. You need to have a big guy who has some speed to compete with them. Thank you, Ken. I hope you enjoyed my comments about Josh Allen because I do think he's an overrated quarterback. I I'm slowly but surely moving him out of my top 10. Every year I've moved him down a peg or two. You can't have so many interceptions and be considered elite. You can't have a less than 67 completion percentage and throw 17 interceptions to 39 touchdowns. It's just not a good look. Oh, they were hilarious. No, it was spot on though. It's not wrong. Josh Allen is completely overrated. Touchdown to interception ratio is a thing they need to track. The only thing that Josh Allen does great is he runs great and he doesn't fumble a lot when he runs because he does have those massive mitts from those Wyoming boys. I'm right there with you on Allen. I have him somewhere between 9 and 12 right now because he is a game changer, but he's not elite because he turns the ball over too much. Does anybody disagree with that statement? He's an elite athlete, but not an elite quarterback. That's what I'm getting at. Lamar Jackson just needed an actual OC that didn't make him run all the time to make him look like a better quarterback. Last year, Lamar Jackson was one of the best quarterbacks in the league. You missed it, Josh, but I'll give you another one. Woo! There. Yep, he's a real good QB, not great. Jackson Powell? No, Josh Allen. Josh Allen is a turnover machine. Uh, there's a difference, though. Brett Favre actually got them to 2 Super Bowls. I can't get with you there. Josh Allen has not gotten the Bills to the Super Bowl, so I'm not going to put him in that elite status. There's a big difference between a gunslinger that gets you there or wins one than one that gets you on the precipice, the penultimate in your conference. At this point, just because of that right there, you have to say that Jared Goff's a better quarterback, not a better athlete. There's a difference. A better quarterback than Josh Allen. Wasn't Josh Allen drafted in 2017? And Jared Goff was drafted in 2016, only 1 year less, and he's been to 3 NFC championship games, or is it 2? 2 NFC championship games with 2 different teams and got to a Super Bowl. He's a better quarterback by those measurements. Josh Allen is an elite athlete, not an elite quarterback. That's my point. He's running out of time. That window is closing. That window's closing faster than his interceptions close out games. Same with Tua. He runs reckless. Eventually, he's going to get hurt. He's getting into that prime year where the injuries start to happen more. He has to learn to run smarter. I granted he's a big guy and can take it, but Carson Wentz was a bigger guy. Thought he could take it. Look what happened to him, and that was when he was having an MVP season. You would think he'd have looked at that and said, "Oh shit, I shouldn't do that," because that was they were all drafted that same year, if I remember right. Good morning, Matt Henry. But what's on the grill today, people? It is Memorial Day. I did a moment of silence to honor those that have fallen in service of the military, no matter the branch, whether it's the Coast Guard, National Guard, Air National Guard. Um, losing, losing in the playoffs repeatedly without getting to the Super Bowl is what makes Josh Allen not elite as a quarterback. He's an elite athletic specimen. Absolutely, Ken Catalone. I mean, were there bad years with Brett Favre? Absolutely. You're smoking a 10-pound brisket. What time is dinner, Pat? um, I've got some cheddar smoked sausages. Um, tried to find buffalo and tried to find me some bear meat, but the exotic store was out of it, so it looks like it's just going to be some cheddar brats. Josh Allen is overrated and overhyped. I think he's an elite athlete. Don't get me wrong. The guy, you can see it when he runs. The guy's a monster. Weather's terrible. Yeah, that's okay. You can still grill. You could use those chips with water in the bottom of a broiler pan and do it indoors. You can do the same exact thing. You just got to keep adding water or they burn. You can still smoke stuff indoors. It's a myth. Like I said, I'm trying to be the most realistic fan out there that does this. And I'm a little bit more than a fan. I mean, I'm a published editorialist. Come on down. 69 to Memphis, Michigan would be great food and drink. Sounds like fun. I'd have to leave right after the show to get there on time. But I try not to be totally Homer. Everybody in the division got better. So that's why I don't think the position changes from how it ended last year changes. Say what you want. We addressed the weakest part of our room. Is it going to work out? We don't know. 69 in Coldwater, Michigan. It's 69 right here in Burton, too. I mean, I think it may be 67, but 2 degrees don't make a big bit of difference to me. Coldwater's a nice place. They got the Cabela's outlet there. I like that place. I'm happy with our depth. We got way more depth than we had last year going into the season. And despite having the 29th worst, yeah, never say injury proof. There are certain injuries that'll derail any team, and I don't want to mention any of them. There's no such thing as injury proof. We're an injury or two away from having the worst wide receiving core in the league. We're an injury away from going from the best tight end room to the worst. That's awesome. Well, the battle's going to be between Davis and Robertson for the CB1. And we already know Rakestraw is going to be a slot. It's whether it's nickel or dime. Terry on Arnold is going to be at the CB2. That's what I see happening. It looks like Branch is going to be mostly starting at safety, at the strong safety spot, moving Kirby Joseph back to where he was best suited at free safety. And that makes a lot more sense to me. Wow. It's a nice place. I love Coldwater, Michigan. It's not too far north of Adrian and Monroe, right off of 23. Been through there many times myself. I, I don't want to pencil either Arnold or Robertson there. I want them to earn the position. Yeah, we get traded for Davis, but between Davis and Robertson, I kind of like Robertson's game film better. So that's why I say that. So there's a chance he could just overtake that position, and that's fine if he does. If he doesn't, that's fine too. We got two guys that are vets that are going to be platooning the CB1, which is I'd rather have that than a rookie. Brian Three Cushion, how you doing, Mr. Roy? Paul Jones, good afternoon and happy Memorial Day. Happy Memorial Day, everybody. It's great to see everybody chiming in. How much faith do I have in Davenport? It depends on if he's the starter or not. And I'm going to put that caveat out there for one reason. He's a liability in run protection, run defense. He's a pass rushing missile. And I think he needs to be in rotation with James Houston more. And I think Betts could end up getting the starting spot despite everybody's doubts about him. Because Betts is a more all around defensive end slash outside linebacker. Betts plays the run and the pass equally well. That's the only reason why I say that. Like I said, I have it at about a 60% shot that Betts is our starter because he's more of a 3 down DN than either one of the other two. James Houston is horrible against the run. Marcus Davenport is marginally better than that. From horrible to warm, petrified dog shit, just because he's so old. I just like being a realist. I call it like I see it. I think Betts has a good chance to win that, and if not, it's gonna be Pascal or Kamish as the first down guy because both of them play the run better. Who do I believe the odd men out on this team? Emphasis on men. I think it's Levi on Wuzariki. He's the one I've heard the least about out of this camp. I've heard absolutely nothing. Nothing good, nothing bad. Which means he's playing exactly like he has his entire career. He's doing nothing good or nothing bad. He's just okay. And okay isn't going to cut it on this team. I heard good things about Pascal. I heard good things about Kamish. I heard good things about Davenport. I heard good things about Betts. I heard good things about Wingo. Wingo is outperforming him. So, yeah, I think Levi is the odd man out who will hit the practice squad this year. And somebody will take him. And he might go there and stand out somewhere. I just don't think he's the right guy. He doesn't have that grit mentality to push through his injuries and small pains. And I'm not talking about the back stuff. Martin toned up and lost weight too. Yep. Right now, Martin is our DT3. He is third on the depth chart. That he moved up. Say what you want. He moved up. And it's mostly due to his body transformation. He lost 20 pounds. He turned all that flab into muscle. He has less of a belly in the way, which is going to improve his lean. Any UDFAs you have making this team? I think it's Isaiah Williams or Jalen Calhoun at the wide receiver position. Um, don't be surprised if Duron Gilbert and Steel Chambers make the team. I've heard good things about both of them. Uh, Kingsley Egwakun will make this team. You don't give him that much guaranteed salary to not make it. Isaac Rex, who everybody thought was going to make it, is already gone. I wish when they got rid of him, they'd assigned J.J. Ross because he's a cornerback slash safety. Played good at both positions in college. The guy I'm upset we missed out on was Quantez Stiggers. Went with the last pick in the fourth round of the Jets. That secondary got better getting Stiggers. Not saying he'll crack that top two, but he more than likely will be their nickel. 6 foot tall, 205. Got that fast 40 time of a 4.42. You guys can dog the 40 times of Arnold and Rakestraw, but go look at fastest cornerback times in the NCAA last year, tracked by GPS. Arnold and Rakestraw are in the top 10. Rakestraw is actually faster, even though he had a slower 40 time. Some people just do not run good without their pads and a football in their hands. That's all there is to it. We saw that with St. Brown. Ran a horrible 40 time. But that was after he had sexual allegations rumored to be going around. I say rumored because you can't find a single lick of evidence that it ever got broke. And I know it broke just before the draft. Game speed versus track speed, way different. Proof is look at all the Baylor guys that are so fast in the 40 time. They're all track stars. And then they get in the NFL and they look nothing like that. Here's the thing, guys. When people have a bad camp and they report about it, it's because they're being watched. They're being watched because they're expected to do something. What are you supposed to do in any type of practice? Get better than you were before, right? So if you're having a bad day, as long as you get better the next day, that takes care of it. Yeah, we've heard that one before. Didn't he get a tryout and didn't make the team though? He got a tryout. I think it was with the New York Jets back in the day. And he ended up not making the team because he couldn't catch a cold. 3 days, 28 targets, and 4 catches for a certain wide receiver you wanted, Orlando Escribano Jr. Want to guess who that was? They were all on day 3 of his camp. Take a guess what wide receiver that was there, Orlando. Pajama party. Let's wait till the season starts. No, 4 catches for 28 targets in game situations in the 7-on-7s. Who was it? Tell me. You wanted him. You were crying for him. You just don't want to say his name, do you? I think he went to your second favorite team. Worthy will be fine. His draft prospect report said suspect hands. I read it to you and you were like, well, maybe I don't want him. Remember that? Yes. Terrell Williams. He's one of those guys like the guy we got rid of, Todd Walsh. Very good at drawing up stunts, different types of defensive line schemes. Will Aaron Glenn listen to him and let him do it? JMO's hand. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay. So when he comes off of the suspension and he had 3 bad games and then didn't have another drop for, let's see, he only caught 2 passes then. There was 10. So he had 3 catches. So out of the next, let's see, he had 1 drop out of the next 40 targets. 1 drop, and his hands are sus. Gotcha. I never heard JMO's hands were sus until you said it. Yeah, he said that a year ago. I haven't seen it this year. I haven't seen him say that. I seen him say he's the most improved player this spring. So if you're talking about a year ago, I agree with you. If you're talking about now, I don't. You are using the quote from a year ago, right? Because I didn't see that this year. And I watched the presser. I don't expect it because Goff. It, Orlando said it best. Goff needs to hit him in stride. And in all actuality, for the few targets he had, Hooker packages incoming. Let's chill on. No, no, you can't chill on Goff. That's the reason why he threw to covered people over JMO last year. JMO was open 50 times downfield, and Goff chose to throw to a double covered St. Brown, a triple covered Josh Reynolds, or a double covered Laporta over hitting the open guy downfield. I'm not going to chill on that. It happened 50 times last season. Who knows? Donkey Kong. I will not chill on what I see as flaws in someone's game. Goff is great from the 15 yards out down. I will not chill on anything I think is a flaw in someone's game. In 2018, Goff didn't have that flaw. He had a great deep ball. But after that Super Bowl, then in 2019 and 2020 happened, his deep ball confidence got ruined and he changed the way he does it. And it hasn't been the same since. And it's a mental thing with Goff. So now he just waits until it's a perfect time to throw that pass and praise to God his wide receiver runs and adjusts to it. That's what I see on anything over 25 yards. I'm not saying he doesn't have the arm to get it there. I don't understand why everybody wants somebody to run a sub 4.3. If he'd have ran a sub 4.3, we probably would have never drafted him. What good is a deep bell if you're in? See, that's the thing, Braylon Dennis. I didn't say he was inaccurate. I just said it's not a good looking deep ball. There's a big difference. What good is a deep ball if you're inaccurate? It isn't. Everyone wants a Tyreek. Knock off. Because if he wanted a Tyreek, he'd use JMO better. That's all I'm saying. I don't sugarcoat anything. I'm a realist. I don't go Homer. I don't. Golf is great from 15 yards out down. He is one of the best and the most accurate quarterbacks out there. That's the definition of a game manager QB. Happy Memorial Day to you, Ralph Williams. I hope you're having a blessed day. I hope you have a great day, whatever it is. I hope you remember to give your moment of silence on your show as well. I gave mine to start the show. I'm going to give another one here in a little while, just out of respect, because I respect those that have fallen. Oh, I got to change that because that's incorrect. I'm not going to stop the way I do my show to make people happy. Because you know what? If you change your narrative to make people happy, guess what? Then you are placating people. I don't like to placate people. I like to give blunt facts. Josh Allen will never make the Super Bowl because he suffers from PMSD, Pat Mahomes stress disorder. If he has to face, I'm having a good day preparing notes for tomorrow's Sports Corner. Good for you, sir. We've been hoping that Goff would focus on the deep ball ever since we got JMO. I'm not going to say it. Say, what good is a deep ball if you're inaccurate? You say he's accurate, but why has everybody that's gotten a deep ball from Goff, that's a 25 plus in the air yards pass, had to slow down, adjust, or move to where the ball is? That means you're inaccurate. He used to throw it on a rope, on a straight line. He doesn't have that anymore. Every year I see him improving that arm strength in the short arm throws, but the deep throws, it's like it's not there. We saw him throw some lasers under 15 yards. I never seen him throw before last year. I mentioned it. I was like, wow, that's amazing. Goff sucks at throwing the deep ball. There is no argument. There is an argument that he used to be really good at it, Donkey Kong. But mentally, after that Super Bowl and the horrible 2019 and 2020, I think it's a mental block with him. Everybody forgets when he out Mahomes on Monday Night Football 2018, willed that Rams team to winning that game because he had such an amazing deep ball. Mahomes threw more interceptions that game, not Goff. Goff doesn't suck. Right. Artists, you are right. And I also said that JMO needs to take a page out of Khalif Raymond's playbook and learn how to run his route slower until he gets the ball. Because that's what Khalif Raymond does. You can look, he actually slows himself down to the balls in his hands and then uses his burst and speed to take off. Dwayne King, good afternoon to you, sir. Let's go Detroit Lions One Pride, Kings of the North Division title. Yes, sir. And it's not all on JMO. But Brian Stover, I'm not on the golf sucks period train either. You're just mad because he isn't the athlete you want. What Goff is elite at is his decision making on passes 15 yards or less. Right. Last year he had top 5 stats. So you had to go, he was what? Top 10 after they changed coordinators at the end of the 2021 season, but technically he was 18th overall that year. Let's not sugarcoat it. Granted, that was with Anthony Lynn, who probably couldn't coach an offense if you paid him to. Hey, that's right, they did. Brent, hey everyone. Hey JB and Brian, good to see you. I'm not calling Goff an awful quarterback. Those words are not coming out of my mouth. If Jameson could learn how to slow himself down like Khalif Raymond, he will be a more complete wide receiver. Mr. U, what's happening, Jay? Great show as usual. Thank you. Yeah, I know Ayuk wants our raw money. I don't think he deserves it. He's close, but not quite as good. Mr. U, how are your Giants doing lately? What is your messages from OTAs you want to throw in here? Hooker will hopefully keep that fire off and all his millions now. If Hooker lights it up preseason, you watch Sally say lesser educated Lions will start the Hooker check. I understand. I, like I said, what Goff is elite at is 15 yards and under. Everything after that, he's average or less. James Burgess, hell, I want I'm on raw money too. Probably won't get it unless you invest in Bitcoin or invest in gold and save that shit. Oh God, God, I miss talking to you guys all weekend. It was fun. This is fun. I, I, I don't like Making smart moves in New York Giant land, not chasing a QB and spending wisely. I'm happy if Daniel Jones is serviceable if we win. If he bombs, we still win if there's a QB in the draft next year. Um, you never know. You might be running out Drew Lock. I heard he's doing everything right in camp. And Daniel Jones can only get a connection with Malik Neighbors, which is better than what he had with Kadarius Toney. I'm not freaking out. The golf slappies freak out when we say stuff like that because if you look how the contract breaks down, it does look like a 2-year Super Bowl or bust contract from the outside looking in. Brad and Dan must be in love with golf. If you look at that contract, it doesn't. I like Lock for a year or two at least. Yeah, I agree with you, Mister U. And don't hate me being the messengers talking about it because that contract at 27 million this year, 32.6 next year, and then 69.6 in the second year of the actual contract with way less. It'll save 5 million to get rid of him. The no trade clause makes it the no trade clause makes it a 2-year Super Bowl or buster. He's gone. They'll cut him. And it's not a fully guaranteed contract at that 171. Hendon had 2 great days and a bad day. And he's gonna have that. It's his first time in camp. He had a really bad day, day 3. I heard he couldn't hit the broadside of the barn, and that's crazy considering the best corners of Rakestraw, Arnold, Davis, all were not on the field that day. It's not a good look. I expect it too, but we thought that we'd have packages for Teddy Bridgewater last year. Yep, GMs and coaches are only in love with you if you win games. Yes. Yeah, that's what I've said. Because 2026 is Hooker's last year of his rookie deal. It's a 2-year Super Bowl or bust contract. When the owner comes out at the uniform reveal and says, "Our goal is to hoist the Lombardi," yeah, we could possibly have the best backup quarterback in the league. And that's what everybody doesn't get. They all say, "Oh, he's trade bait." I was like, that makes no goddamn sense. You don't draft a guy that has that much potential just to trade him away. Now, I, for one, never thought Teddy would have had a package in the offense. Hooker will. Trust me, there was lots of people that thought Teddy Bridgewater was going to have it last year. Donkey Kong is what I'm getting at. You never know. We've seen it happen before. It could happen again. Oh shit! I hate summer colds. I don't admit anything because he hasn't done anything in an inning game situation in the NFL. Right now, if he was get if they were offering anything for Hooker right now, we probably would have taken it. But what I have heard, uh, I don't think we have to lose the lean because we actually still have a lot of cap room next year, Troy. Yeah, if he's good, right? Yeah, it all depends on the next 2 seasons. If we get to or win the Super Bowl like they want, then you'll see a restructure with Goff's contract. That's the way this contract is laid out. It's a Super Bowl or bust. If he gets us to the Super Bowl or wins one, he'll get the restructure. Are we better than the 49ers now? With what the 49ers lost on defense, I think we leveled the playing field. I don't think we're better. I think we're about the same. Right. And that's exactly right. Let's bask in our wealth and assets. Who cares about the draft picks? We're in Super Bowl or bust mode. With what the 49ers lost on defense, I think we leveled the playing field there a little bit. And everybody's overlooking the fact that the Lions improved their roster this year along with everybody else in the NFL. Right, that's the thing. And that's what I've been trying to say. Hooker's here because of that what if thing. Because we've been blessed. I think we have one of the top 10. With the additions we have, the potential is to be top 10, at minimum top 15. A lot of the coaching decisions in the third quarter and not so much the fourth down calls. I say running the ball. We didn't do it until the fourth quarter, and the game got out of hand. We had the fumble, you had the IU catch, you had, and then pass, incomplete, pass, incomplete. You can't go pass happy when you have the lead. You have to control the time of possession. The only way to do that is to run the ball in the third quarter because teams don't necessarily call times out. Woody Bach is in. What's up, brother? Good to see you, Woody. I just that NFC Championship game. So many things went wrong. If you can't control the time of possession on offense, your defense gets gas because the other team has the time of possession. It was a plethora of things that fell apart in that third quarter. I do not blame it on any one thing. It was the sum of those experiences together as a team that failed. I think the Eagles are better than the Cowboys this year. Um, but the crazy thing out of camp is Pickett's doing better than Hurts. Thank you. I, I'm getting ready to do my second moment of silence because yes, we went away from what was working. We had Demo and Gibbs tearing up the yards on the ground in the first half. And you're absolutely right, PC. It's never just one play. Fans just get frustrated and point fingers. You have to remember, uh, Kendall Vildor was in place to make the interception. How lucky of a bounce to have that ball go off his face mask and straight to Brandon Ayuk. I felt like the 49ers were a better team last year than what we were because of the sum of the whole parts, not because of any one particular group. If that makes sense, Orlando. Right. Because I expect Carlton to be a one and done thing because that's what Brad Holmes does. He brings in these prove it players that have something to prove, that want to be somewhere and do something great. Yeah, I got Carlton and Odell. I like Branch better than Carlton. I truly believe our defense is 60% better. We get lucky and get Bates, book the Super Bowl, baby. I I think, Branch being at strong safety in his natural position and Kirby back at free safety in his natural position, which he played when Tracy Walker was hurt the year before, is gonna improve our defense that much better. Because the free safety is the one that gets put in single high safety where Kirby Joseph flourished. Your strong safety is your in the box safety. And right, a Reader coming in is going to help a lot. Um, Reader and Davenport also had the day off on day 3. Uh, your free safety is your single high coverage safety while everybody's in man. He's the one that roams the whole middle of the field there. And that's what Kirby Joseph actually excelled at his rookie season. Is running, reading routes with the receiver's eyes and the quarterback's eyes and knowing where the ball was going because he played wide receiver at one point. He was able to jump those routes really well. And I see that being what's going to be done this year too. I hope it pushes us to number one, but don't forget the Bears defense got better too, and they had the number 2 run defense last year. Cleveland Browns was number 1. Their run defense got better this year. Everybody's run defense got better. It's passing defense that we don't know. It is question marks with the rookies, as Artis is pointing out. I know fans get all jacked about our secondary draft picks, but corners is the hardest position for rookies. And let's pump the brakes a bit. They will struggle for a few games at least. I guarantee you at CB2 we're starting a rookie, and it's gonna be Terrion Arnold. I think Manu has the chance to be something great in a year or 2 down the road. He's going to learn from Hank Fraley, who's one of the best at teaching these big guys what to do. Look at the difference in Dan Skipper now with Hank Fraley coaching him than he was where when he was somewhere else. Dan Skipper has actually became a good swing tackle and is used in extra tight end situations. So I think if it's gonna be Jack Campbell and Anzalone because we run a 4-2. That's right. One of us will be right. One of us will be wrong. I'm just saying right now he's penciled in at the number 2. Oh, this tickle in my throat just needs to go the hell away. Hate it. Yes is undone. It has been a minute since I seen you. Happy Memorial Day, ball hawk. Right. But none of these guys were compared to them. That's my only point there, Orlando. I said last year if Witherspoon is off the board, we trade back. I was right. I said we'd draft Gibbs last year and trade Swift. I was right. I didn't expect us to get Gibbs in the first round, though. Cotton Treeser. Yes, happy Memorial Day to all the fallen, and thank you. And it is that time for us to do another moment of silence while I have everybody here. I want to say I appreciate all 21 of you watching me right now. We are live on Roku and on Amazon Fire Stick through the Huddle Up Sports Network. There has been nothing since Friday. There's no updates right now. Right now, it's all still the same. Hendon Hooker had a bad camp on Friday. He had 2 good camps prior to that. Manu's looking decent in the 7-on-7s and looking like an uh, imposing feature to be dealt with in the future. But he is still raw and he's still learning. Uh, Everybody's looking good. There's really no bad things to say. Jamison Williams is looking like the most improved player since last season, which means great. He couldn't do any worse. Uh, Would Cam Sutton start if he was still on the team? Maybe, just because he knows the playbook. But we have a different defensive passing game coordinator now, so I can't even say that. Give me 30 seconds, folks. It is time for a moment of silence for our fallen brethren in the military. And of course, it is time to talk about our sponsors before it's time to get out of here for the day. Number one, it's FTP, everybody's favorite sponsor that never pays us a dime. It is for the people on this day. Put it in the chat. Let me see it. I think our new D-line coach will be huge for us, Brent. I think having Terrell Williams here, I think it'll be a big boon. Thank you for holding that moment of silence. Mad respect for doing that. FTP, FTB, FTSKOL. F them all. Don't care. We are the Lions, baby. Lions Talk with Smokin Jeremy V is also a member of the KCB Sports Network. The website will be launched soon with all of our stuff that is available for sale. Troy, I want to thank you for coming in here. Make sure you get with Mike for me because I haven't heard back from him yet. Next sponsor, Gloss Negron, the best window tinter in Saginaw 2023, and is up for the same award again this year through the Chamber of Commerce. Go there and place your vote for them. If you need your windows detailed, windows tinted or your car detailed, 409 Hamilton Street in Saginaw, 989-443-9240 is the number to call to set your appointment. Mention this ad, he will give you a discount. And last but not least, Brandon's Tire Service, right at the corner of South Grand Traverse and West Atherton Road, 602 West Atherton Road, Flint, Michigan. Best prices on used tires if you need something to get you by, and one of the best prices on new tires to call 810-233-8230 to get your quote for new tires. Talk to George, Red, or myself. Mention this ad and get $10 off a set of tires. Some groups don't even want to honor Memorial Day anymore. Glad this channel does. Uh, it is. I will always do it. As a former member of service myself, I served in the Army. Um, I was an MOS 11 Bravo, and if anybody who's been in knows what that is, I was an infantryman. I went to a mechanized infantry division, the 197th in Fort Benning, Georgia, which kind of sucked because that's the same place where I did my basic and AIT. So I only got to see one real place for my service time. I got to travel to ones for training events, but it's not the same as being stationed there and being able to experience those places and cultures. But it is time for me to say, try every day to be a better person than you were the day before. It's the only way to make the world a better place. It starts right here. Much love, everybody.
Netboard broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.